What's going on, people? Welcome to United View and welcome to your preview and post. Welcome to your presser reaction. There's so many games. I don't know, Owen. My brain's frazzled. We're doing loads of content. I don't even know what day it is, what game it is, whatever. But welcome to your press conference reaction.
I tell you what we are. We're early. That's what we are. You know what I mean? It's not focused like Ten Hag was just asked in the press conference. You're still celebrating the victory the other day?
No.
no.
Just so easy, bro. Just like literally, just no, I'm not.
No,
honestly.
I mean, he was. The way he was like, any more Carabao Cup celebrations? No. Back to work. That's it. No problem.
And that's just what we want to hear. That's just what we want to see. It's what we want to hear. And I'm glad. So big up to everyone. Yes, it is a bit of a shock. We've gone live a little bit earlier. Big up to Cobra says big up everyone. Red Devil says yo. Andrew says well done, lads. And Red Baron says United look a bit tired as well. Get your comments in. Ken says Rashford should be rested. And Sophia, one of our members, says hello everyone. Big up Owen and Flex. Big up to you as well. So it was a bit of a weird. Big up Sophia. It was a bit of a weird press conference. In the first bit that is embargoed. Sorry, we haven't obviously heard the embargoed bit, which will come out tonight. Hopefully, in that there'll be some games about the West Ham game. Maybe some questions about that. Hopefully, because there wasn't any. Yeah, maybe. Simon Peach right near the end before it got to the embargo bit probably thought, shit, better ask a bit of team news. So big up Peachy. He came through and asked that. I mean, where do you want to start with going through that? I mean, we'll do the preview a little bit in a second, but with what some of the things Ten Hag says, where's a good place to start?
I guess with some team news, people that aren't available. Anthony Martial, not available. It's Groundhog Day. I feel like Bill Murray. Anthony Martial is not available. Luke Shaw and Fred, though, their questions, which is interesting. As one would expect, Ten Hag didn't expand as to why they are questions. Maybe it's fatigue. Maybe it's just a bit of a knock. No, not in this. But you've got to ask specific. You have to ask specific questions of Erik ten Hag. If you ask vague questions, you get vague answers from Erik. I think that's been established at this point. So when you ask him who is available, he will tell you who is available. If you ask what's specifically wrong with Fred, he might give you an answer. But so Shaw and Fred are questions, which doesn't necessarily mean they won't play. But I think at this stage of how many games we've been playing, it doesn't make any sense to take a risk with either one. I don't think, given not to put down West Ham or anything like that, but you would say, okay, then play Malacia left back, and maybe we're going to see this midfield partnership at last of Casemiro and Sabitzer.
Kasabitza, yeah. I think after the McFred thing, I'm done with combined in the. I'm never doing that ever again.
I'm trying it a bit too much,
maybe. What I will say, yes, 100%. I think this is the perfect time to play other players, and it isn't at all about looking at West Ham as lesser or anything like that. We've got good players. So that is why you buy good players. That's why we bought Malacia, so that when Luke Shaw's tired or needs a rest or we want rotation or we need a different skill set, we got someone like Malacia who can come in and we're more than comfortable with that at home against West Ham. Someone like Sabitzer, if Fred's a little bit off it, well, look, even going forward, we probably want Sabitzer to start more than Fred if he plays to his capabilities. But there you go. Fred's a little bit tired, played awful lot of football, high-intensity football, just coming off the back of a cup final win. And there you go. So I don't mind that at all.
Here's one, though, when it comes to Fred. I mean, we were waxing lyrical about him this morning on the Morning View. Check it out. But also, we were talking about Sabitzer and Casemiro. The reason they didn't play together against Barcelona and Newcastle in the Carabao Cup final was because they were untested together, and you don't just put a new partnership together in a big game like that. But if they do play alongside each other tomorrow and they play well, does that mean Anfield at the weekend you do go, actually, Casemiro and Sabitzer, they have been tested now. Is that the partnership? Or because Fred and Casemiro familiarity and because they've done well together recently, is that the pairing you go for? I
think the latter. I think that there is an interesting one because also you can never, what we know about Erik is that we can never say he's definitely going to do this or he's definitely going to do that. We can get like a vibe on some absolute certainties, but not, but things like midfield partnerships and this, that, and the other. Sometimes it is I mean, to be fair, we was all sure that Fred would start the cup final. We was all sure that Fred would start against Barcelona. So on that, you have to say if he needs a little bit of a rest because he's played in them two big games, I can't see Erik than just not playing him at Anfield. Again, for the reasons that we spoke about earlier today of the character needed there. I'm not saying Sabitzer doesn't have it. If he has to play, he'll be fine. But Eric, I think there's a certain degree of trust and reliability on Fred in the big moments where you have to handle big emotion, big away fans, hostile atmospheres, and you need someone about it. You look at that Liverpool midfield, and it is absolutely awful. It's stiff, it's slow, it's not creative. Someone like Fred to just buzz around in there would be great. But also, you could look at it at the other side and say it isn't that physical, it isn't that combative. It might be the game for Sabitzer with Casemiro. Who knows? But I still think the latter. But in terms of this game, like, they're going to have to play together at some point. We're playing. Every game's an important game. You can still say that this is a knockout game. Lose and you're out. So the pressure's on. We have to win every single game, like Eric says. So yeah.
Did you see this? I mean, Red Baron with the super chat, I'll get up on the screen, says Pep talked about our spending. How we're coming up when rivals start hating us. Also, he rubs his nose constantly. Is he on something? The first part of that is I didn't even see that. I just saw that in the last.
Oh, you didn't see it? Yeah. No, he dropped a little.
He
said,
if they spend,
about Man United?
He was basically asked, when can they become regular Man United? When can we become regular Premier League challengers? And he said, if they spend a bit more money, because they didn't spend, did they?
Yeah, but also when you watch it, look, you see Pep, obviously we hate Man City, but Pep's one of the greats of the game. I don't despise Pep or anything like that. I respect him because he's an unbelievable manager and what he's done for the game. But also I look at his theatrics and appreciate them for what they are. When I watch the clip, when you read it, it sounds worse. When you watch it, he's just being silly. Sometimes he does those kind of rhetorical questions, or like when he's being quite sarcastic, he's like, of course, they didn't spend already, huh? Yeah, he's laughing and he's just being. When you watch the clip, I don't think you'll feel as angry. But also, but also, what it shows is like, hey man, we're on our way back. They're talking about us, mate. Rattled Central. I put a little comment under it saying, yeah, he knows, and I put a little celebratory thing. He's just laughing. He's just like.
And to be fair to him, I suppose he did say it was a few months ago now, didn't he?
Yeah,
he said,
he's bigging up Eric Ten Hag. Exactly. Yeah. I think, and then we beat them. I think.
He said United were coming back. I remember before when we were getting linked to Ten Hag last year, and he was asked the question, could Ten Hag take over from you at Man City? He went, absolutely, because he knows him, obviously, because he was a coach under him at Bayern Munich. And he was like, absolutely, could take over. So I think he probably knows. He knows about that. But yeah, sorry to derail that. I just saw that and was outraged for a brief second.
Pep I never get wound up anymore by things that Pep says, because everything he does, don't get twisted, is calculated and deliberate. Yeah, when he wants to deflect from his team and put onto someone else, or when he wants to put a bit of pressure on someone else or whatever, that's just what Pep does. He's not afraid to express himself. Same like Klopp. Do you know what I mean? Eric Ten Hag's not really like that. But yeah, I didn't really see too much into it. What I thought was interesting from today's presser as well, I just felt like Simon Stone was just maybe trying to. He was half trying to get on the Maguire thing.
Better money.
Yeah, but then he was like half not, because he knows, like, if he tries to, it looked like he was going down a negative, because he was saying, obviously he's England player and that's why I'll focus more on him. But then he comes back on himself and is like, but it shows that everyone was part of it and it wasn't just one person. So I was like, well, what are you really?
And he reacted the right way, Ten Hag, because he just said, he said we didn't win the game with 11 players at the weekend. And we didn't. We made substitutions. We brought people on, and we've played lots of different players throughout the competition too. It's not, we haven't played the same starting 11 in every single round. And as he said, time and time again, it's a squad game. This is why I always push back on whenever we make any signing or we're linked to whoever, and people say, oh, so-and-so is not going to want to sit on the bench. You do not win a Premier League with just a good starting 11 or a good 12 or 13 anymore. Well, you don't win a trophy, rather, with a good 12, 13 players. You need like a good 16, 17, 18 players. That is what it takes at this point. And obviously, certain players are more important than others, clearly. But that's what Ten Hag was saying. I mean, you're right. I felt like Simon Stoney pushed and then kind of got a reaction. He went, I'm not going to push that hard. I'm going to dial it back a little bit. One of my favorite ones was when he was asked about the Liverpool game, saying, oh, is it hard to focus on this game when you look towards the Liverpool game at the weekend? And for many, that's the biggest game of the season. Going away to Anfield, people always look at it. Is it difficult to look at that? And Ten Hag was like, no, Every game is important. Every game until now, we've had the right attitude, we've had the right approach, game by game. And then he for the first time, I think I saw Ten Hag get a bit sarcastic when he started going, "What's Barcelona wasn't important."
Exactly.
And then, the journalist then went, "Well, they're getting more important game by game," and he went, "Yeah."
Exactly.
Like, oh, he's not having it. He's just not having
it. He's not, and that's just exactly that's what we want to see. So it wasn't really. I mean, from press conference wise, it wasn't really anything. I think the main thing was looking at who can be available / not available for tomorrow.
I mean, the FA Cup's kind of snuck up on us. I was thinking this because there's games on tonight, isn't there? And I was thinking like, this is one of those situations where things have been condensed because of the World Cup. Usually FA Cup, what's this, the 5th round? FA Cup 5th round, that'd be a weekend thing, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. This is like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday situation. This wouldn't normally be the case. This is one of those instances because of the World Cup, because of the congested fixture list. We've got an FA Cup games, which are always big games, just happening sort of randomly in the middle of the week. And it's just yet another game for Manchester United. Every 3 or 4 days, we're playing. And again, that's what makes the victory at the weekend and the victory against Barcelona, and here's hoping the victory tomorrow and at the weekend against Liverpool and West Ham respectively. What makes it more impressive is that we are literally every 3 days playing in it, not just different matches, different competitions across all fronts, just winning. And other clubs, other managers, they would prioritize. And we're not even really at the stage of prioritizing stuff yet, really, are we? We're just going, no, we're just going to win. We don't care.
Exactly.
That's nuts.
Exactly. It's as simple as that. We're just on it. A couple of super chats. Satchif says, "Big up Flex. I'm absolutely buzzing. Let's win the league and shut down these rivals." Red Baron says, "Pep talked about our spending. We're coming up when rivals start hating on us." Also, he rubs his. Oh yeah, we said that one. And Red Baron also says, "I'm not wound up. I'm just laughing at the hypocrisy." So a few super chats there from you guys. Exactly. Which brings us into the game tomorrow, because I don't think there was much in the presser. We'll find out what happens in the embargoed bit. And it's a game, again, I'm glad it's here. I'm glad it's just around the corner. I'm glad that it's so soon after the Carabao Cup final. And I'm glad it's not the Premier League and it's another cup competition, because now it's like hungry again. Let's go. I mean, Liverpool are out, aren't they? Chelsea are out. Arsenal are out. I think even Tottenham are out, aren't they? I don't know. No. Tottenham beat someone in the lower leagues, right?
They're facing Sheffield United, aren't they? Because they were going to be facing possibly Wrexham.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah. So that's fine. Whatever. But I'm looking at it and we're licking our lips. We want it. We want it all.
It's opening up.
Ham. It's opening up. West Ham. Got to make sure they don't get relegated. Might rest a couple. They've got a lot more on their plate for different reasons than what we do. And I just know we'll play a strong side regardless anyway. This is fantastic to have this game. If you're looking at it from a team news perspective, like we spoke about Luke Shaw potentially not playing and Fred, already you're going Malacia, Casemiro. I mean, I was kind of thinking maybe just give Rashford the day off. But then if that little ankle thing against Barca just wasn't a thing and he's completely fine, I can see Ten Hag just saying, "Go and get you." He just wants to go strong all the time. I know we got Liverpool, but I would personally just even maybe start him on the bench, maybe bring in Garnacho. I think Anthony will go again. Varane won't play. So, but I think one of Martinez or Varane will play and it won't be Varane. So I think we'll see Martinez and Lindelof maybe. But then again, Maguire, he does quite like him. And when there's a chance to kind of give him a game, he usually does. So we could just see Maguire and Lindelof tomorrow.
Well, and also, I mean, I think when it comes to the centre-backs, I think if it's going to be Maguire or Lindelof to partner Martinez, it'll most likely be Maguire just purely because it'll be left-footed and right-footed. That's what it will be.
Exactly.
He has done Lindelof and Martinez before, and it did all right. Which game was it? Was it Leeds?
I can't remember.
I think
I have no idea. I can't remember.
I forget which one it was. The game's blowing into each other at the moment.
Yeah.
I forget which game it was, but they did do that recently. Again, don't expect Varane to play because he'll be looking for him for the weekend. You're right with Rashford. Well, it depends with Rashford. Is like you said, was it even?
How does he feel?
How does he feel? Fine? Because he did the whole thing when he came off against Barcelona, and he put the Instagram story up with the bandaged head emoji, and everyone went, "Oh my god, he's injured." But then. He wasn't because he travelled. He played the whole game.
He played 90. He played 90.
I played most.
He came off near the end. Came off near the end. Yeah.
I think it was for Maguire actually. I think Maguire actually came on for because he went to 3 at the back. Either way, he played the majority of the game. I agree with you. If there's any element of, it was a bit of a risk or there's a bit of a twinge, then come on, they just leave it. Let's have him fit and available for Liverpool at the weekend. But at the same time, a big sort of precursor to this form from Rashford was that after the World Cup, he just played in every competition. He played against Burnley in the Carabao Cup. He played, I think, came on against Charlton and scored in the Carabao Cup too. He played in the FA Cup. In those sort of lesser games where you would usually rotate, Rashford was playing, and because he just kept playing and kept scoring and kept scoring and kept scoring, it just kept the momentum and confidence building in him. Now, I do think he's at a stage at this point where if he does miss a game or a 45 minutes, then it's not going to really hurt his momentum, and maybe that's what he'll do against Charlton. To be fair, he didn't start that game; he came on and scored.
So I mean, he could start on the bench. Could start on the bench and come in, but I think he'll still be involved if he's fit. I don't think he'll just leave him out completely. There is still no Martial, so that means you're saying Weghorst just. You got to do it all, and you never know how that's going to go out, how that's going to pan out. When the game gets a little bit stretched or something, you need to change it.
With Martial, do you think at this point, earlier on in the season, where he was having these injury setbacks, not that they were rushing him back, but because he was, with the Ronaldo situation was what it was, but because he was basically the only striker, do you think quite a few times they were like, we just got to get him back in. We got to get him back in and get him playing. And now this time, because it's happened again, they're like, I tell you what. We've got
time now.
We've got Rashford. Yeah. We're going to take even more time. Even if that means he ain't playing for like another month, 6 weeks, it can't happen again. Like it just,
right.
Even if we've decided we're going to get rid of him in the summer, it can't happen again. When he comes back, he needs to be back for a couple of months without getting hurt or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So you reckon they're just taking the ultimate time now?
Absolutely, because we have to, because it keeps breaking down. Do you know what I mean? He keeps breaking down. He keeps getting injured. He probably doesn't know why himself. Even took a picture with the medical team. So, ironically or kind of, trying to kind of show that side of, look, this is basically who I've been with most, and they're trying to get me back. And he said, I can't wait to be back in it in the caption. So, I think he needs to take his time out, and the fact that we got Weghorst definitely is part of that. Roosh says, Flex, we need UV at all the press conferences. The level of questioning from these journalists are very poor. I just think thank you, Roosh. I think they just got different agendas to us. They work for different publications. They have to get different grabs, and that's the beauty of fan content, is that we just care about the team and the manager and the players. And when it's positive, we want to talk about that positivity and find more out about it. When it's negative and things aren't going quite well, we want to ask some questions about that, but less so about just trivial stuff that sell papers. So it's just a bit different.
That's the difference, isn't it? Because they have to go for the headline question. They have to, if there's a big story, they have to go for it. They can't not go for it. So they have
their producers and their editors are telling them, go in there and you ask about this. Red Baron says, blessing in disguise if we lost this game, ? Absolutely not. No. And Eric Ten Hag would think that as well. This is not, and I know you're only asking, but and you know what, Red Baron, I don't think our squad is too thin to cope. I think they're in a groove. We can make changes. We've already spoke about some of the changes we can make. Wan-Bissaka and Dalot are playing a half a game each at the minute. They're interchanging. We've got 2 other centre-backs to come in. Although, yes, Maguire and Lindelof is not the level that we want. But at home against... it is a bit different now when you're asking them to fill in stocking filler games, when we've got a structure and a way of playing now with a manager. They can come in and do jobs. What was it? Leeds away? Maguire played with... Who did he play? Shaw. No, who did he play with?
He played centre-back.
Played with Shaw. Played with Shaw.
Shaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before the Barcelona game. Yeah, it looked a bit shaky, but we won the game. And I know we won the game in the last 10 minutes and stuff, but what I'm saying is we can get through games, and at home as well. At home.
And you said earlier on, you have to see who's in the competition. Sometimes things just open up for you. And to be fair, you could say with the Carabao Cup, that's what happened this season too. Obviously, to be honest, no, not even sort of trivially. Look at our run to that final. Look who we had to beat. Exactly. I always say this, they go, you have to beat the best teams to win a trophy. No, you don't. Let them eliminate each other.
Depends on your draw.
Let them take out themselves. Let them eliminate themselves. Let the competition eliminate themselves and see who you get. Yes, sometimes you want to beat the big teams, but a lot of times, if you can get to a final without having to play the big teams and the rivals, the smoothest way possible.
Exactly.
And this season, again, this FA Cup competition, there's still some big teams left in it. But as it would usually be, you look at some of the semi-finals in these competitions in recent years, it's been essentially the top 4 of the Premier League or the top 5 or 6, teams that are in there. That's not really the case.
It's only really the Champions League you can't really cheat. I mean, very rarely is it like
City do their best.
Play anyone good. City do their best, but in the end, they still had to play like Real Madrid in the end, and they get on that. Like, it's, you know, they had to play Chelsea in the final. At the time, Chelsea were good. Like, you can't fluke Champions Leagues. I know Porto, you know, you can say, but they beat Man United. Do you know what I mean? In that season when Jose went running down the touchline. So you don't play. That's where you can't, you know, fake it till you make it. But things like domestic cups, you know, the draw can always go your way, especially in the League Cup. And then in the FA Cup as well. Because look, Man City and Arsenal played each other in the bloody third round. Do you know what I mean? Or was it fourth round? Third round. This is the fourth round now, isn't it? Yeah. So, you know, that's how crazy it is.
Look at City's draw in the FA Cup this year. What did they have? Chelsea and then Arsenal.
Oh yeah, exactly. So you know, they've had to play some big teams while we've had Reading and now West Ham at home. So it'll change.
That's not to say that's going to be easy, by the way. West Ham, they just won the other day. Was it 4-0 at home?
Yeah.
And they haven't had the best season this season, but at the same time, it's going to be challenging. We just scraped past when I was waiting for the press conference to start. I remember we played them at home this season. Marcus Rashford late header and some unbelievable saves from David De Gea. One from Declan Rice was absolutely sensational. We scraped through that one. It wasn't easy at all.
No, not at all. And it never is against West Ham. So you can't overlook them. We're confident. So I think we get the job done. But that's why we can't just be making loads of changes because people might be tired from a cup final. It's not Eric Ten Hag style. He still goes really, really strong. Bruno, Casemiro, Sabitzer. I think that's your midfield. I think Anthony on the right. Maybe Rashford on the left from the start. If not, then Sancho on the left. And bring Rashford in, or Garnacho could be one. That's a bit hard to choose how he plays that. And the back four, I think, will be strong no matter what it is, whether it's Dalot or Wan-Bissaka. We know they're incredibly strong. One of Martinez or Varane, I think, will play, and you know, Malacia is probably going to start at left back, and David De Gea probably will play. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be a strong team. It's going to be a strong team, and the bench is going to be strong.
Always go strong.
Yeah, always go strong. Predictions before we wrap up. What are you going with?
I think we'll go through. I think it's going to be quite tough, though. I'm not thinking totally straightforward again. I know that West Ham haven't been amazing this season, but I think because of that fact, I think David Moyes might go quite defensive. So I'm going to go a bit like it was earlier on this season. I'm going to go over 1-0.
Yeah, Nick. I'm going to go. I went 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0. I think it'll be tight, but I think we'll open them up and get it done in the end. But definitely ain't going to be an easy game. And Angelo says, lads, we're not getting sold. That isn't confirmed, by the way. That's just Angelo's feelings. Feeling a bit down because we still haven't got anything yet. But we are on it. We are on it. There you go.
If Fran joins late because he says you want Sabitzer to start over Fred, you always leave Fred out of your team mentionings. Well, we did say earlier on that he was a doubt. No. We said that Eric Ten Hag said he was a doubt. And now if you watch this morning, he played very, very well.
Exactly.
At the weekend.
And if you watch the Flexing KG show later on as well, you hear exactly what I have to say about Fred because that's been recorded as well. That's coming out at 6.
Yes.
So, I think you got the wrong end of the stick there because Fred's a doubt for the game, which you probably didn't know. So big up, man. Smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Get your predictions in tomorrow. Match day. You're going to get your road trip. You're going to get your stuff in the studio with KG and the guys and obviously everything at the ground as well and all the reactions. So we are out of here. Plenty to come. Roll on the next competition. Let's go. Take care, guys. Peace.